What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back to my channel. So, a lot of speculation's been going on with Joe Rogan and the JRE podcast. Before we get started, do me a favor. Just starting out here on YouTube, help me grow my channel a little bit. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about my video. So, when Joe Rogan took that $100 million deal and went to Spotify, there was tons of speculation that he was going to get censored and these episodes didn't make it over to Spotify. Alex Jones, Joey Diaz, Gavin McGinnis, Mario Yiannopoulos, a bunch of people that didn't seem to make it over. Joe said it was a glitch. Everybody thought he was just BSing and thought that he was being censored by Spotify. It was crazy. The Spotify employees were in an uproar. You got all these little blue-haired, woke people running around saying he's transphobic, he's this, he's that. We got to censor him. We got to shut him down. We're striking Spotify if you don't let us have control. And sounds like the owner of Spotify, CEO of Spotify, basically told him, "Shut." No, he seems like a nice guy. They have meetings, and he lets them speak, and he lets them say their piece. But looks like what's going on is, in the end, the CEO of Spotify is letting Joe do his thing. And actually, Joe said on one of his recent podcasts with God, I hope it's pronounced his name right, Gad Saad. Great guy, great podcast. I highly recommend listening to it if you haven't. But Joe actually said on that podcast that the CEO of Spotify was a fan of the podcast. So he wanted he has a vested interest in the podcast being successful. Obviously paid Joe a lot of money, $100 million to come over to Spotify. He's got to make that investment worth it. If he's letting these little blue-haired freaks run around and cancel what the moneymaker is, he's at a loss. So he's not, why would he bring JRE, the Joe Rogan Experience, over to Spotify and start censoring it? People would leave. Nobody wants to hear this podcast censored. People, the most watched episodes are the ones with Joey Diaz, the ones with Alex Jones. So, that being said, Joe has done some things. He made that apology about the wildfires in Oregon on his Instagram page. A lot of people thought that was kind of a little provoked by Spotify. He's done some things, but he kind of put a big F you to all the critics, including myself. I'm guilty. I thought he was being censored, and I was like, yeah, he's being censored, he's a sellout, blah blah blah. So hey, I admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong, because what do you know? Boom, Alex Jones was on his podcast last week, and those are the most watched episodes. People like that, and this CEO of Spotify isn't going to want to ruin a good thing. So Alex Jones was back on Spotify now. Excuse me, back on Joe Rogan over at Spotify, which nobody thought would happen to him. When I saw it that day, I was like, wow, this is amazing. One thing I did notice, and a lot of people noticed because I saw it in the comments, and I did make a video about this if you want to check it out, and I got some comments on that video too, that Joe Rogan did something that he hasn't done before. Seems to be doing it a bit lately. But he was having Jamie pretty much fact check everything that Alex Jones was saying. Now, he hasn't done that before. Most of the time, Alex Jones comes on and he goes off in a tangent and he starts throwing this and that out there. The crazy thing about it is most of the stuff that Alex Jones says he's right on. He might go a little deeper into it and there might be some loose ends or whatever he doesn't have, but a lot of things he says he's spot on. Um, so Joe was just like, all right, hang on, Jamie, pull that up. Jamie, pull that up. Hang on, Alex, slow down. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole yet. Pull that up. And that was a lot of people felt that kind of annoying. A lot of people thought maybe that was Joe being censored. Maybe Spotify said something to him if he was going to have Alex Jones on to make sure he's not just throwing a bunch of conspiracies out there. Apparently, that's not the case. And Joe has said this. He said that with the recent episode I was talking about with the Gad. Joe calls him the Gadfather. And he said it in some previous episodes, one with Tim Dillon, not the one with Alex Jones and Tim Dillon, but one with just Tim Dillon. Joe says that nobody at Spotify has contacted him and told him anything. No one has said make changes. No one has said our employees are freaking out. We're having all these meetings. No one has said you're going to be. No one has said a word. They're just letting him do his thing, and that's how he said it was going to be from the beginning. He said it's going to be the same. Nothing's going to change. Not a lot of people believe Joe. I didn't believe Joe. I believe him now. I believe that the CEO of Spotify, being a fan of the Joe Rogan experience, is letting Joe do his thing. He has a vested interest in Joe being successful. So I'm gonna play a quick clip. Gonna make this quick short video. Quick clip of Joe talking to Dad and saying that no one on Spotify has said a thing to him. So he's been over there for what, a month, couple months already. Not one word has been said to him about anything. So I firmly believe at this point. I don't know what the whole fact checking thing was about and why Joe made that apology. I mean, on Instagram a while back about the wildfires. That's kind of new and a little strange. But whatever, it is what it is. I honestly believe that Joe is not being censored. So I'm gonna play a quick clip.
Has an interest in your show being successful.
Right.
Instead of just being on a platform where they benefit from you, but they don't really have a vested interest in you. The communications that I had with the head of Spotify and the people that made this deal, they want the show to be successful. They have an interest in it being successful, financial interest in it being successful, and also the head of Spotify was a fan. He likes listening to it. He didn't want it to change. And we've gotten insurance that it wasn't going to change. And, a lot of people were really concerned. Like, now you're going to have a different kind of a show. And no, I'm just going to do the exact same show. There's been zero input in terms of, like, someone telling me, hey, don't talk like that. Don't say this. Don't bring these subjects. There's been none of that. As much as people speculate there's been none of it. But it doesn't make you happier. You know what?
Yeah. So there you have it. Laid right out in front of you. So I'm happy to report, happy to tell you guys, you probably already saw it, that as far as we can see, it's going to be Joe Rogan as planned. And one last thing before I get off here. The studio, a lot of people don't like this. It's kind of growing on me. I guess it was just a quick fix. They had to build something real quick just so they could start, continue the podcast. But so they've said in a couple of the past episodes, that they're looking for a space where they can build a new studio, like Joe Rogan's old studio that he had in California. It wasn't at his house. He had a office where, he had all kinds of stuff. He had his gym. He had the studio, all kinds of things going on. So I think they're trying to find a place like that where you can have another building with a bunch of different things going. So I think the studio's gonna change again. Which this one, it's like I said, it's growing on me. So that's it. We can expect Joe Rogan to be Joe Rogan. Looks like from here on out, keep expecting some great guests. Right now, it looks like we don't have to worry about anything. It's not going to change. So all you JRE fans out there, big fan of Joe Rogan, love the podcast. Looks like we're going to be getting our money's worth still. All right, people. I'm checking out for the night. Like I said, subscribe, help me grow my channel. Just getting started out here. Everybody, world's gone crazy. Be safe out there. Be kind to your neighbors. And till next time, peace.